You've
Okay.
promised to end birthright citizenship on day one. Is that still your plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
The 14th Amendment, though, says that, quote, all persons born in the United States are citizens. Can you get around the 14th Amendment with an executive
We're going to have to
action?
get a change. We'll maybe have to go back to the people, but we have to end it.
Ending birthright citizenship, it's what President-elect Donald Trump is vowing still to do as soon as he's inaugurated in a month. Birthright citizenship means anyone, as you heard there, who is born in the U.S. is automatically an American citizen. It applies to a child born to illegal immigrants or even tourists who are visiting the U.S. It's a policy guaranteed by the 14th Amendment, and it has been in place for more than a century. The president-elect says the policy is being taken advantage of, and it must end. Others say it is going to be a tough fight and a difficult battle, even impossible to overturn. Joining me now, Michael Wilds, managing partner at an immigration law firm and also an immigration attorney for the president-elect's wife, Melania Trump, and her family. Thank you so much for your time. This is a very complex issue. How difficult will his plan be if he chooses to move forth with this?
If the president chooses to go forward and change the 14th Amendment, it would require 2/3 vote in both the House and the Senate, the entire Congress, as well as ratification by 3/4 of all the nation's state legislatures. Again, the Citizenship Clause states all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state that they reside in. The way it doesn't apply is if you're a child born to diplomats. When you're a child born to diplomats, you're not subject to the jurisdiction thereof. You're also not able to be prosecuted to that jurisdiction criminally. So there's going to be great consequence if the administration attempts to do this, doesn't succeed, and it will bleed over into other areas of jurisprudence, not just immigration law, but criminal law and other areas as well. Sometimes you can make something that he would consider others bad worse. And I think the notion of taking citizenship away from people in this land that have children here. Now, I just want to state, if I can, as an immigration lawyer, I'm actually a second-generation immigration lawyer. My dad started our firm in 1960. He represented John Lennon in a celebrated case when the Nixon administration was coming to get him deported. There's nobody coming to America with the prayer that 21 years later they'll be sponsored by a child. There's no such thing as somebody getting born in America and then being able to bring people over unless it's 21 years later. That's how the law stands. So the question is, was this a scare tactic in politics? Is this something fundamental that the president and all these legislatures can come to terms with, or ultimately is now the pressure of doing this over because of the political effect of having won the election? We'll have to see.
Have there been attempts, Michael, before to end birthright citizenship?
Yes, there have been. And, you know, we have to, I teach at the Cardozo School of Law. There's something called jus sanguine and jus locale. In Europe, you get citizenship by virtue of your blood. Here, it's based on being born in the field. And we've had really notorious cases. We had a woman who gave birth to a child on an airline over U.S. soil. When the plane landed, the child was a citizen. The mother had to leave within 3 months because her visa was up after she gave birth to the child. So there are different dynamics as we engage with the world, but our founding documents and our founding parents portended a world where we would be judged based on the content of our character, the work ethic that we have. The greatest risk takers are entrepreneurs, are immigrants, and we have to kind of remind ourselves that the rules of engagement in treating everybody the same has a lot to do with that notion of being born on your soil as opposed to inheriting it, which seems kind of, you'll forgive me, snooty or so European. It's not American.
It's a tall task, but if he were to be successful, and when Trump puts his mind to something, he pushes on the gas. If ending birthright citizenship, would people already be given citizenship or birth certificates? Would this be grandfathered in? Are we at the point to look that far forward?
We have the notion in the Constitution of ex post facto laws. You can't make something illegal that at the time was legal. So it would be a new generation, and it depends how it would be created. But again, understand this. Both houses have to do it by an overwhelming majority. You can't even get them to agree on fixing a broken immigration law, let alone a amendment to the United States Constitution. And all the state legislatures, that means all the reds, the blues, and the purple states would have to come to an agreement. The gentleman, the president, has succeeded exponentially in having all cameras of government, all chambers of government, that is, and winning the popular vote. The question is, does he have that granular sort of control in all the different states that would require this thing? I think not. I think that it was a political promise. I take the president at his word that he's going to stop the onslaught of immigrants coming in illegally, rid ourselves of those hardened criminals that are here unlawfully, and then fix our broken immigration system. To reconfigure the United States Constitution seems daunting.
Finally, just one more quick question for you, Michael. I mentioned a moment ago you're an immigration attorney for Melania Trump and her family. In what capacity, and is there personal interest in this issue?
Well, when the president was trying to scare people in the last go-around about the notion of chain migration, giving you a picture of these like monkeys walking through jungles trying to come to America, that 30 people can come from one person, his own wife and family were engaged in family reunification, a bedrock of our immigration policy, where you can bring only immediate relatives over to the United States. I had the privilege of getting citizenship then for her late mother and father, and working on a green card then for Mrs. Trump's sister. Again, a beautiful tradition. Even our First Lady is entitled to have babysitting services. The notion that individuals in our founding documents and parents understood that you would come to America, you would get a visa, you would get green cards, you become a citizen, and then you would bring your immediate relatives, your loved ones. You can't bring uncles and brothers and sisters unless those brothers and sisters have the patience for 15 years plus worth of quotas. I had the privilege of helping the first family. Again, I represented President Trump on his immigration matters for many years. Miss Universe, Trump models, the Kushner family, and a lot of other wonderful people ensconced in the Trump family and world. They are big believers in lawful immigration and bringing the best talent forward to America. So I expect good things from the administration when it comes to ridding ourselves of bad people and keeping the good ones here. Even the president suggested that if we are educating foreign students, and then we don't create a way to onboard them into the workforce, and then we're competing against them, then we're shooting ourselves in the foot. Right now, financial aid and support goes to the tuition and the institutions, and there's no real benefit to the job market. So with the work visa issue and all the other concerns that we have with immigration, we have to get this right. I mean, just think about it. Who's going to pick the blueberries in Georgia? Who's going to make the beds in our hospitality corridors? Industries depend in the agricultural space, particularly when it comes to immigrant labor. The president got elected and made history. Now we have to make sure we get this awfully extraordinary tool in our box, the notion of immigration proper, so that we right this ship. If you want to really make America great again, you have to make sure that you respect the reverence of immigration. We rid ourselves of those that would cause us harm, and we keep the good people here. I wrote a book called Safe Haven in America, Battles to Open the Golden Door. The notion that America's door should be on a hinge, closed to those that would cause us harm, but well and wide open to the greatest risk takers and entrepreneurs of our time. Elon Musk and all the others that are out there would agree that immigration needs to meet the needs of America's employers. The last time we revamped it was in a Reagan administration, and even then, a Republican president gave green cards to 3 million people because he didn't want them.
Michael, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I'm up against a commercial break, so I've got to jump in here. But I appreciate this conversation. We'll certainly have you back as we keep our focus on this important topic.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you.